Welcome back to Waukon. We are underway here in this Decorah Waukon duel. There will be, I believe, 10 matches in this duel. I believe Decorah will give up 1 weight and Waukon will give up 3 weights. We are underway at 120 pounds. It's Colin Coda for Waukon, as well as Devin Storts for Decorah. Storts ended up losing by major decision, and Coda got stuck by Johnny Etherington. Both wrestlers having to wrestle the number 5 kid in the state here earlier. Scramble situation on the side of the mat with 1:10 left here in the period. Devin with his head on the mat. Coda with the arm around the left leg of Devin, but Devin still controlling the legs of Coda. No real advantage for either wrestler right now with 52 seconds left in the period. Eric Eckerman, the official on the varsity mat for this one. And Devin keeps moving through, able to get out of the control of Coda and get a takedown on the edge of the mat before they go out of bounds. 36.9 seconds left here in the period. And Devin with a 32-0 lead. Devin gives up the hand control. Coda able to get to his feet, but Devin able to take him down to the mat. Good mat return there for Devin, as now he reaches for a cradle as Coda bellies out on the mat. 10 seconds left here in the period. Devin with control of the near side wrist. Now working a 2-on-1 through the high C, and the period will come to a close with Storts leading by a 2-0 margin. Storts, we mentioned, lost earlier tonight. He is now 10-7 on the year. Colin Coda is 6-12 on the season. This is a pair of sophomores duking it out here at 120. 2-0 Storts with the lead. Vikings trying to win their 3rd duel of the season here tonight. Coda able to get to his feet from the down position, but 2 nice mat returns by Storts. And now Storts trying to tie up an arm as he has Coda extended. Storts now trying to tilt Coda. Storts working through the high C area, has the wrist locked up. Didn't get to the point where he got any back points. Coda got to his feet, but did so out of bounds. So back to the center they go with 1:16 left in the second period. Storts leading by a 2-0 margin. Coda chose down to start the second period. We got JV matches going off to our left. Storts working off to the side, has the arms locked up. Coda able to get the left arm free, now able to get back up to a base. And he'll turn and face and get the escape with 51 seconds left in the period. Storts leading by a 2-1 margin. First duel of this Decorah Waukon duel tonight. Decorah lost to Charles City 56-13. And Charles City defeated Waukon 78-0. Forehead to forehead tie. And here is Storts in on a takedown to make it 4-1. Devin with his second takedown of the mat. We have another conference score tonight. Crestwood has defeated Owine 59-12. And the second period comes to a close here at 120. Devin Storts leading by a 4-1 margin. So all the scores yet that have taken place tonight. Charles City has defeated Waukon 78-0. Charles City defeats Decorah 56-13. Crestwood and Owine. Crestwood wins that one 59-12. The other one going on tonight is Waverly Shellrock and New Hampton. That one through 8 matches was 21-21. Storch starting the third period in the down position. Devin trying to establish a base. Coda cuts him down. Coda trying to work a half on the one side. Devin up to a base once again, but Coda knocks him down as they go out of bounds. Back to the center they go with 1:18 left here in the third period. A 4-1 lead for Devin Storch. Coda working off to the side, has the wrist tied up high. Devin able to get the one arm free. Coda able to get to his feet. Devin turns and faces. Coda still with control, but they are going to give the escape to Storch as he went for a throw on Coda as they went out of bounds. 55 seconds left in the period. A 5-1 lead now for Devin Storch. Forehead to forehead tie with both men. 45 seconds left here in the period. Coda has the head tied up. Storch reached for a shot, and that allowed both men to go out of bounds. .26 seconds left here in the period. Storch down to a leg, switches off to a double, gets a takedown, and makes it 7-1. Third takedown of the match for Devin Storch. 13 seconds left here in the period. And now Storch looking for a tilt. Working through the crotch area. Has the wrist tied up, and now has a count of 2 on the back, and they are going to give him 2 back points, and that'll allow Devin Storch to get a major decision here at 120. Devin Storch gives Decorah a 4-0 advantage as he majors Colin Coda here at 120. And we move on to 126. Dirk Clark, who got stuck earlier tonight. Carter Furman lost earlier tonight. And here we go. Clark wrestling for the first time this year. Furman, the sophomore, at 126 with a 10-10 record now. Four nothing Decorah after one duel here after one match in this duel. Vikings lost to Charles City 56-13. Here is Clark quickly in on a takedown. Immediately taking Furman down, and it's a 2-0 lead. Dirk, arm locked up on the one side, head in the armpit on the other side. He can't make that work. Dirk now reaching for a far side cradle. Moving the arm up on the back of Furman. Locking the hands on the other side. Stepping over. He's got Furman on his back, but he doesn't keep the grip. And Furman reverses him. And it's 2-2. And now Furman riding a little high on Dirk. Dirk trying to get to that peek through position. Dirk swimming and trying to get that half. No change of control yet. 2 on the reversal for Clark, and now he's got Furman on his back, but not in a position to get points. Dirk with the leg tied up, with the head tied up, no arms free for Furman. He's on the side of the mat. Furman, as my angle was impeded by Dirk's position a little bit, and then they go out of bounds. 4-2 the score after Clark got the reversal after giving up the reversal. I thought Furman was closer to being on his back than he was, and back to the center they go with 46.8 to wrestle here in the period. Clark riding tough. Controls the near side wrist, trying to move that one up on the back. Doing a good job of staying off to the side. Now works through the crotch area on the opposite side. And now he tilts Furman, and he's got him on his back. Got a count of 2. And now Furman reverses him, gets a headlock, and he's getting back points. 10 seconds left in the period. Dirk is on his back. 6 seconds left in the period. And the fall is recorded. Eckerman will go over to the scorer's table and to see if there was time left when he slapped the mat. And it was a good fall. Carter Furman with a fall in 2 minutes. And that's the second time tonight that Dirk Clark has gotten off to a great start, but ends up getting stuck in the first period. So Waukon leads the duel 6-4 now. And here is Kellen O'Shea and Tyler Benzing. O'Shea got a major decision against Charles City. Tyler Benzing is 12-8, a senior, so not too bad of a kid here. Here's O'Shea, single into a double, gets a nice takedown. 13 seconds in, he takes a 2-0 lead. O'Shea trying to cradle up Benzing now. He's got the near side wrist control. It becomes the far side wrist now. He can't make anything work, and now Benzing to his feet to get the escape. And here's O'Shea with the takedown, trying to get the half. Benzing doesn't allow him to do it, though. Now, O'Shea with a wing in on one side, trying to get the wrist on the other side. Kellen trying to make it work. But Benzing not letting him have that wrist. They wrestle on the near side. 53 seconds left here in the period. O'Shea with a 4-1 lead. They are dangerously close to going out of bounds, and there they do. 43 seconds left in the period. An optional start that will let Benzing up to make it a 4-2 lead. Kellen has been able to take him down in the first minute and a half of this period. Kellen trying to throw by, gets into a nice double on Benzing, gets the takedown. Benzing bails to make it 6-2. Kellen now out to a parallel ride. Now he works off to the side. Trying to cradle up Benzing and tilt him that way. 9 seconds left here in the period. Working a little ball and chain is Kellen right now, and the period will come to an end with Benzing trailing O'Shea by a 6-2 margin. O'Shea's choice, he'll defer, and Benzing going to go down. And Kellen is going to use the optional start and let him up. 6-3 the score as we start the second period. Kellen steps into some underhooks and takes down Benzing, though, as he got out of the underhooks. Put the shoulder right into Benzing and takes him down to make it 8-4. He lets him up to make it 8-4, I should say. Kellen on a nice takedown once again. Finally awarded there by Eckerman to make it 10-4. Kellen with the arms tied up of Benzing as they work off to the side of the mat. Kellen circles in behind. Benzing reaches back for the head. It isn't there. And they go out of bounds with 1:15 left here in the second period, with O'Shea leading by a 10-4 margin. So far, Devin Stortz with a major decision at 1:20. And Carter Furman pins Dirk Clark in 2 minutes. And here's another nice takedown after an optional start by Clark, or by O'Shea. And now it's 12-5. Kellen leads it with a minute left here in the second period. Kellen trying another ball in chain tilt. Benzing doesn't let him have it. Benzing with one of his arms free, now both of his arms free, so Kellen goes to the cross face. That doesn't work as they wrestle in front of first-year coach Matt Pladsen on the far side. 30 seconds left here in the period. O'Shea leading by a 12-5 margin, and when you're sitting at this point in this match, Kellen obviously would like to get some bonus points as they go out of bounds with 20.2 seconds left in the second period. Waukon leading the duel 6-4. And Kellen O'Shea leading at 12-5. Waukon is giving up 3 weights tonight. Here's Kellen O'Shea. Has Benzing on his back, getting back points right now. Trying to get out chest to chest. He's a little high. 9 seconds left here in the period. He's got at least 2 back points. Benzing able to belly himself out of trouble for the time being. 2 near fall points awarded for Kellen. And it's now a 14-5 lead for Kellen O'Shea. And Kellen will start in the down position here in the third period. Kellen quickly to his feet, turns and faces, gets the escape to make it 15-5. Kellen with 6 takedowns, 2 near fall points, and 1 escape to give him the 10-point advantage that he has right now. Kellen able to get another takedown as he works off to the side of Benzing. Kellen, at least tonight, not content to play the take him down, let him up game. He's legitimately looking for some falls when he does take down his competitors. Did the same thing against Charles City earlier tonight as well. 1:25 left in the period, a 6-4 lead for Waukon in the duel. Kellen O'Shea leading 17-5 here at 1:32. Indians are giving up 13, 220, or 285 and 152 tonight. Vikings may wrestle someone at 195. We're not sure, as Kellen O'Shea has Benzing on his back. And he's going to get a full 5 count this time. So O'Shea will get the 3 back points, and that's awarded, and that's going to be it. It's going to be a technical fall for Kellen O'Shea in 5:06 over Tyler Benzing. And that'll give the lead back to Decorah at 9-6. So O'Shea goes 2-0 on the night. And let's go to 138. Isaiah Mitchell for Decorah, and David Miller for Waukon. Miller 1-1 on the season. Mitchell 4-18. Both men lost earlier tonight to their Charles City competitor, who just happens to be Wyatt Forsyth, the number 8 kid in the state. And here is Mitchell getting to a leg of Miller. Miller getting to a leg of Mitchell. Isaiah working off to the side. If he can escape the grip of Miller around his leg, he can get a takedown, and Isaiah able to do so right there. Mitchell with a 2-0 lead here with 1:20 left here in the first period. Mitchell working off to the side once again, looking for perhaps a far side cradle. Does have the arm tied up on the near side underneath the body of Miller as they wrestle on the side of the mat with 1 minute left here in the period. And they go out of bounds. 58.4 left here in the period. Isaiah Mitchell with the 2-0 lead. And Not sure if it's blood time or injury time for David Miller over there on the far side. Coach Platson having to get out the gear, and I think it is some blood time. Trainers must be somewhere else, and now another trainer does show up. And as long as we got some blood time, let's hear from a few of our good sponsors. Back to live action here with 44 seconds left in the period. Isaiah looking for a far side cradle. Leading 2-0 in the top position on David Miller right now. 30 seconds left here in the period. Isaiah looking for his first win in conference competition. He has a tilt in. He's now getting back points on Miller. He gets 3 back points. Still has the grip, so the points have not been awarded yet. And there is Mitchell with a 3 points awarded. 7 seconds left in the period. Isaiah with a 5-0 lead. Miller able to get to his feet. 1 second left here in the period. Mitchell keeps the hand control, and that will be that. The period comes to a close, and Isaiah Mitchell will lead it 5-0. It'll be Miller's choice, and he'll stay in the position he was in the majority of that first period. Down. Isaiah doing a good job of working off to the side. Miller up to a tripod position. Isaiah has the near side wrist and a leg in. Hasn't been able to do anything with it to this point. Tried to tilt him with the leg in and the near side wrist, and he's able to get 2 points on the back. So Mitchell now up by a 7-0 margin with 1:12 left in the period. Working for a half on the far side with the leg in. Now getting up to a base is Miller. Mitchell riding a little high, but Mitchell able to chop him back down to the mat with 55 seconds left here in the period. Mitchell leading 7-0, and now he's getting more back points. Working a 2-on-1 on the near side wrist. He's able to get 2 back points there. And Isaiah up by a 9-0 margin. 38 seconds left here in the period. Still has control of that near side wrist. Now he lets that go. He has control of the other elbow as well. 22 seconds left here in the period. Isaiah up by a 9-0 margin. "13 seconds now left in the period. Clock winding down. Decorah leading the duel 9-6 through 3 matches. And the whistle sounds to end the third period. Isaiah with 1 takedown and 7 near fall points awarded to him in this match. And Isaiah will have the choice. And he is going to go up to start the third period. He was able to tilt him to the tune of 7 points, so probably not too bad of a call there for Isaiah. Trying to sit out there is Mitchell, or is Miller. Miller reaches back for the head. It wasn't there, but Isaiah couldn't keep the grip, and he gets a reversal. So David Miller cuts it to a 9-2 advantage, so it's back to decision level now. Miller circling around Mitchell as he's up to a tripod position. Isaiah staying in that tripod. Miller circling him around. Has pretty good hip pressure right now. Isaiah trying to break free, and now Miller just lets him go. And it's now 10-2 Mitchell. 1:10 left here in the third period. Forehead-to-forehead tie with both men. Other than that reversal at the start of the third period, Isaiah has not given up a takedown to this point. In fact, in a 10-2 match, there's only been one takedown. Trying to get to a leg is Miller. Isaiah able to stuff the head. Isaiah circles around. He's able to cover, and he gets the takedown. And Isaiah Mitchell leads now by a 12-2 margin. 40 seconds left here in the period. Isaiah has rode pretty tough. Been awarded 7 near fall points so far in this match. 1 escape and 2 takedowns. 12-2 the score. Mitchell on top. If memory serves, Isaiah trying to get his first bonus point victory here on the varsity. Down to 5 seconds left here in the period. A 12-2 lead for Isaiah Mitchell. Mitchell tilting Miller again, getting a couple of back points, but they're going to wave him off as the period comes to a close. And Isaiah Mitchell with a major decision on David Miller of Waukon. Isaiah leads it 13-6 as we move to 145. It'll be Kennedy Folkedahl for Decorah and Gunnar Grotegut for Waukon. Folkedahl lost earlier tonight. He actually got stuck. Grotegut with no record, at least on my information to this point. Eric Eckerman is over at the table checking something out. So we'll wait for Steve Pladson's call. It's Gunnar Grandgard, I should say. It said Grotegut on my one piece of information. It's Grandgard. He's a junior with the 10-10 record. Grandgard getting to the legs of Folkedahl. Grandgard on a double, has his head on the mat, keeps pushing forward, but he pushes Folkedahl right out of bounds. And they go out of bounds. With a minute 38 left here in the period, no score yet. And as a wild sequence started it out for Grandgard. Grandgard gets to a leg of Folkedahl once again, but Kennedy circling around, trying to stuff that head and take advantage of it. But he circles right out of bounds. So a lot of action here in the first 35 seconds, but no scoring. Kennedy now sitting at 4-11 after that loss earlier to Charles City. Charles City beat the Vikings 56-13. Beat Waukon 78-0. Decorah leading this duel by a 13-6 margin. Forehead-to-forehead tie. Folkedahl reaching for a shot. Not there. Reaching for a shot once again. It's not there. Now Grandgard getting to a leg of Folkedahl. And he's able to get the takedown of Folkedahl. Had both arms tied up. Tried to tilt him that way. He wasn't able to get any points out of it. But Grandgard leading by a 2-0 margin. Grandgard immediately trying a cross base. Unsuccessful in that attempt. .24 seconds left here in the period. Grandgard working off to the side, has a wrist tied up. Kennedy able to belly out of it with 8 seconds left here in the period. 13-6 the score in the duel. Folkedahl leading by Grandgard leading 2-0 as the period comes to a close. Period 2 about to begin. Grandgard will start in the down position. So far, Devin Stortz with a major decision over Colin Cote at 120. Carter Furman with a fall over Dirk Clark at 126 of Decorah. Kellen O'Shea with a technical fall on Tyler Benzing of Waukon at 132. Isaiah Mitchell with a major decision victory at 1:38. Grandgard and Folkedal. And Grandgard leading by a 2-0 margin. He gets to his feet, gets the escape, and takes 3-0 lead on Folkedal now. Forehead-to-forehead tie with both men. Now they break free. Folkedal again in a forehead-to-forehead tie. Grandgard reaches for the leg, gets it. Kennedy able to get the hips back, but Grandgard pulls him back in, gets the takedown. Look for that half right away, but Kennedy able to counter his way out of that. Grandgard makes it a 5-0 lead with 55 seconds left here in the period. Grandgard with a cross face. He has the arms tied up beneath Kennedy. 43 seconds left here in the period. Now Grandgard trying the other side. Kennedy able to get up to a tripod, but Grandgard knocks him right back down. Grandgard has a half in, and Kennedy is getting near fall points against him. 3 have been given up. 15 seconds left in the period. Now Grandgard was close to getting a fall, but Kennedy able to get himself out of trouble for the moment. Kennedy gets to his feet, gets the escape to make it 8-1, and period 2 will come to a close. An escape, takedown, and 3 near fall for Grandgard. And we go to the third with Grandgard leading by an 8-1 margin, and Kennedy is going to take top here in the third period. And Grandgard hits a switch right away and takes him or reverses him right away. Boy, that didn't take long. 10-1 the score for Grandgard. Grandgard a 500 record coming into the night. Folkedal a 4-10 record coming into tonight. And now Grandgard has a cross face and a leg in. He's getting back points with 1:25 left here in the period. 10-1 the lead for Grandgard, and he'll have at least 3 more coming. 3 back points awarded, and it's 13-1. 1 more turn, and this one could be over early. 1:05 left here in the third period. Decorah leads the duel 13-6. Grandgard leading Folkedal 13-1, and now Grandgard has Folkedal on his back. Kennedy trying to bridge his way out of it, and there's the fall. Gunnar Grandgard with a fall of Kennedy Folkedal in 5:09. And that'll cut the deficit to 13-12. At 1:52, Alec Felstruel will get a forfeit to make it 19-12. And it'll be Joe Frieden, I believe, and Cody Rittner at 160. Rittner was one of 3 Vikings to get a win over Charles City earlier tonight. Frieden at 4-8 coming into tonight. And Cody Rittner now at 10-10. Rittner got a decision victory over Charles City earlier tonight. Both men into that ear-to-ear tie. Rittner reaching for a shot, getting the hips back was Frieden. 1:45 left here in the first period. 19-12 the score. Decorah leading. Indians are going to give up 2 more weight classes tonight. We'll see how Decorah handles 95. If this duel is a little close, I'd imagine they'd put somebody out there. Frieden trying to get to the legs of Rittner. Rittner able to get it back, stuffs the head, can't keep the head, but he gets down to a leg. Cody able to get to the leg of Frieden, trying to get that leg up into the air. Cody able to get to the leg of Frieden and gets the takedown. Tried to get the half on the way down, but was unsuccessful in his attempt. Cody leading by a 2-0 margin. He immediately gets off to the side. Looks for perhaps a ball and chain tilt. That wasn't there. Now Cody trying to move the arm up on the back of Frieden. He gets that. Gets the far side wrist, and now he's trying to go with a wing and a wrist. Unsuccessful in that attempt. Frieden able to get to his feet. Cody still with hand control with 25 seconds left in the period. Cody behind Frieden right now as they go out of bounds. 18.3 left here in the period. Cody will start in the top position. Trying to sit out is Frieden. Frieden now gets the hand control, turns and faces, and gets the escape with 9 seconds left in the period. 2-1 the advantage for Cody Rittner here at 160. And the period comes to a close. Rittner leading by a 2-1 margin. Rittner will start in the top position. Getting to his feet is Frieden. Rittner hanging on that wrist a little too long, gets called for stalling or warned for stalling by Eric Eckerman, and now Frieden gets the escape to make it 2-2. Cody gets to a leg of Frieden. He's on the side of the mat now, getting the takedown, but out of bounds is Frieden. Cody got in on a leg of Frieden. Got a headlock, took him down, had him on his back, but he stepped out of bounds beforehand. So both men back to the center on a 2-2 match with 1:10 left here in the second period. Rittner with one takedown, Frieden with 2 escapes to this point. Frieden controlling the left wrist of Rittner. Rittner controlling the head of Frieden. Not much advantage for either side right now. Rittner steps through, covers up. Frieden gets a takedown and takes a 4-2 lead. Rittner controlled that head, able to stuff it, circle around, and get Frieden down to that. 4-2 the scores. They work off to the side. Does Rittner. Quickly to his feet goes Frieden. Frieden turns and faces after getting hand control. 4-3 the score now. Rittner and Frieden at 60. We started at 20. Decorah leads the duel 19-12. 9 seconds left here in the period. And the period will come to a close. With Rittner leading 4-3. And are we going 2 mats here? This Dixon and over at 170. Or is that a JV match? I'm not exactly. And here's Rittner. Has Frieden on his back. 1:37 left in the period on a fall for Cody Rittner. I was trying to figure out what was happening over on the black mat to my left. And Rittner hits a throw and gets a fall. In 4:24. Rittner makes it 25-12. It is Luke Dixon wrestling over there at 170. That is a varsity match over there as Mike Mitchell of Waukon and Luke Dixon of Decorah. And Mitchell called for a potentially dangerous, as Rittner gets the fall at 160. And now, let's go to 182, and that's going to be on the orange mat to our right. Austin Roth of Waukon and Kyle Hageman for Decorah. So we'll try to keep track of 2 matches here for you. Norwegian, like me, with limited intelligence, can only do so much, so I won't make any promises. Mike Mitchell at 170 for Waukon, leading Luke Dixon by a 2-0 margin. And now it's Hageman and Roth wrestling at 182. 195 is next. There was some talk about maybe wrestling Ott for Decorah. But Sean Truan is sick tonight. Mitchell does have Hageman on his back, has the arms tied up behind Hageman. Hageman gets the escape, tries to get a takedown, but it came after the buzzer. So 3 back points for Mitchell to make it 5-1. Hageman gets 1 escape to make it 5-1 at the start of the second period. No score at 82 right now, and now there's a takedown for Austin Roth. And now a headlock for Dixon, and he's got Mitchell on his back. And now the takedown is awarded, and Dixon getting back points on Mitchell. Dixon has that headlock in pretty tight, but not tight enough for the satisfaction of the official, Mike Denner, who's right down there looking at it. Now, there's the fall. Nice fall for Luke Dixon there at 170 pounds. Getting a fall in 250 to improve Decorah's lead to 31-12. And I see Carter Zidlicki reporting to a table, so I think the Indians will get a forfeit victory at 195. We'll try to figure everything out. Right now it's 2-0 Waukon. Austin Roth leading Kyle Hageman at 182. And that is at the end of the first. Dustin Reagan will wrestle at 220 against Carter Zidlicki. Indians will get a forfeit at 195. And a takedown here once again for Austin Roth at 182. He now leads Hageman 4-0, and he has Hageman on his back. And let's go to 220. Carter Zidlicki and Dustin Reagan. Hageman's on his back at 182, and the fall for the Indians there. Austin Roth with the fall in 226. And that makes it 31-24. Carter Zidlicki and Dustin Reagan wrestling at 220. And now at 285. The Baby Bull, I think, is getting a forfeit here. He will. That'll make it 37-24. And it's 0-0 there at 220. So at 106, it will be Miles Ramsey and Joe Kanoki. That will be a rematch of the final down at South Wind, in which Kanoki defeated Ramsey. So that one should be a pretty good matchup at 106 tonight. So Ramsey, a freshman at 9-9. Kanoki, a sophomore at 13-4. 55 seconds left over there at 2:20. No score between. Actually, Zidlicki got a takedown, and Reagan just got an escape to make it 2-1. Reagan in on a shot, getting to the leg of Zidlicki. And Carter able to get that leg away, and the Indians are going to be open at 1:13. So these are the last two matches of the night. And Zidlicki tried to get the takedown, but ran out of real estate on the side of the mat. So with 27.4 left in the first period at 2:20, Zidlicki leading 2-1. Joe Kanoki with an early takedown on Miles Ramsey at 1:06. And that will make it a 2-0 lead for Kanoki there at 1:06. So I believe the final two matches of the night are on the mat as we speak. So let's recap this duel, and we'll keep you up to date on any scoring that is going on right now. At 120 pounds, Devin Stortz of Decorah with a 9-1 major decision victory over Colin Cota of Waukon. At 126, Carter Furman of Waukon with a fall in 2 minutes over Dirk Clark of Decorah. At 132, Kellen O'Shea with a technical fall, 20-5 and 5:06 over Tyler Benzing of Waukon. At 138, Isaiah Mitchell with a major decision for Decorah, defeating David Miller of Waukon 12-2. At 145, it was Gunnar Grandgard with a fall in 5:09 over Kennedy Folkedahl of Decorah. Alec Felstow receives a forfeit, I should say, at 152. At 160, Cody Rittner with a fall in 4:24 over Joe Frieden of Waukon. At 170, Luke Dixon with a fall for Decorah in 2:50 over Mike Mitchell of Waukon. At 182, Austin Roth with a fall in 2:26 over Kyle Hageman of Decorah. And now Kanoki has his man on his back, and he ran out of time in the first period, but does get 2 back points to make it 4-0 Joe. Waukon received a forfeit at 195 against Sean Truan, sick for the Vikings tonight. At 2:20 right now, Carter Zidlicki with a 2-1 advantage of Dawson Reagan. At 2:85, Austin Ashbacker received a forfeit. And Joe Kanoki at 1:06 leading Miles Ramsey 4-0. And the Indians are going to be open at 1:13, so Carter Hubka will receive a bye there. So Decorah will win the duel with the help of 3 byes tonight. But it'd be nice to get these couple of victories. Zidlicki at 2:20 leading 2-1 with 46 seconds left in the period. And now a reversal for Miles Ramsey on Joe Kanoki at 1:06. So Kanoki now leads 6-2 with 1 minute left in the second period. Zidlicki working off the side. He started in the top position in the second period. No position change, and I don't believe any warnings have been given over there. Kanoki leading 6-2 with 40 seconds left here in the period. And over at 2:20, the second period will come to a close with Zidlicki leading Reagan by a 2-1 advantage. Over at 1:06, Joe Kanoki with a reversal to make it 8-2 on Miles Ramsey. That was a 5-1 victory for Kanoki, winning the Southwind Invitational a couple weeks ago. And these two teams are going to get very used to each other. A week from tonight, they will wrestle the actual conference duel. And that will be at Decorah. Waukon will also wrestle Decorah as part of the Decorah duels. And now Kanoki has Ramsey on his back here at 1:06. Kanoki has Ramsey on his back. Has control of the wrist, has control of the head. Needs to get a little bit more out. Chest to chest, and now Zidlicki has his man on his back as well. Zidlicki with a reversal and a fall. Carter Zidlicki with the fall at 2:20 and 3:45, and seconds later Joe Kanoki with the fall at 1:06. So Kanoki with the fall in 4:30 and a couple of falls to end the actual competition for the Vikings, and Kanoki will receive a forfeit, and that will be that, as Decorah wins 55-24 over the Waukon Indians tonight. So again, the Vikings lose to Charles City 56-13 and defeat Waukon tonight 55-24. Many people to thank for making our broadcast possible. First and foremost, our advertisers, the good, sports-minded people who helped us bring the coverage wherever you were tonight. Without their help, this coverage would not be possible. So as always, we encourage you to support the businesses who support local high school sports. And lastly, and most importantly, we thank you, that's right, you the listener, for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed our coverage of Decorah Viking Wrestling tonight. Vikings lose to Charles City 56-13 and defeat Waukon 55-24. Our next coverage will be Decorah girls basketball tomorrow night at Cresco, and we will have that for you at 7:30. And then Saturday we'll have multiple coverage. We aren't going to call it a mega cast like ESPN had this earlier this week, but we will have Decorah at the Chris Flanagan Wrestling Invitational in Cresco. We'll have hourly updates beginning at 11 on our sister station, FM 100.5. We will also do a live hold-by-hold webcast throughout the day, and that will be just on the internet. Something we tried down at Southwind. We're going to try again here for the Chris Flanagan Wrestling Invitational, and that will be at KDECradio.net. The actual site that you'll be linked to is ustream.tv/channel/KDEC Sports. We'll have live hold-by-hold coverage throughout the day on the internet, just like we were doing tonight. So we invite you to join us for that beginning at 10 o'clock. So the finals from Waukon tonight: Charles City defeats Decorah 56-13. Decorah defeats Waukon 55-24. Thanks a bunch for tuning in, and we will talk to you tomorrow night from Cresco.